Are you considering getting a pet parrot? In this video, my macaw and I will talk to you about getting a pet parrot. But first, I'm Kaylin. Welcome to Parrot Bliss. I am the author of the Parrot Bliss Spawn. Please buy your copy so that something like a best-selling author, I can become a selling author. One that actually sells some copies. So what is a parrot like, in case you're considering getting a pet parrot? If you've had pets before, and it seems like everyone's had a cat or a dog kind of thing, or a hamster, parrots are interesting because you'll hear people tell you that they are different and that they take a lot more work. So you could see that my macaw here is all over the place. Now granted, she is the second largest species as a macaw, the hyacinth macaw being the largest in the parrot or psittacine family. And so her needs are sort of more pronounced. They're bigger and more pronounced than those of a small parrot. There are so many different sizes of parrots, with over 350 to 400 species of parrot, depending on how they're categorized. That's a lot of choices. You might be looking at getting something like a budgie or a cockatiel, a green-cheeked conure, those being three of the top parrots, the most popular parrots, I should say, or best-selling parrots. Parrots do really take more because they just have different needs. And I think it has a lot to do with their intelligence. So in order to explain to you what it would be like and what you should consider if you are considering getting a parrot, let's talk about some of those special needs. Well, being so intelligent, they're like children. They're like young children, like a toddler kind of thing. And have you ever heard the saying, children should be seen and not heard? You know, when I was raising my daughter, one of my spirituality students said, you know, it's amazing. You guys, as in my husband and I, have really done the opposite. And he said, at first I was really surprised because your daughter has been heard and seen, and it's really allowed her to blossom. Well, parrots are really the same way. If you think that you're not going to hear a parrot, you're barking up the wrong tree. Parrots are very loud. They are very vocal. And my personal theory is that because they fly and they kind of need to hear each other while they're flying. And if you've ever noticed, like when you're, airlines, it's really loud. When you've got wind rushing by, it gets really loud. So in order to hear your partners that are flying with you in the flock, I think you would have to be really loud. Or since they can span so much space, like their territory can be miles and miles, square miles, that means that in order to hear each other, they'd have to be loud. So parrots are really loud, and in your home, that's really something to consider. If you have an apartment, like you share walls, a townhouse, something like that, you really want to take that into account and look at, there's a lot of information on good apartment parrots, but you want to look at what parrots aren't going to be as loud, so that on the parrot scale of noise, you're really aiming for something quieter. She's actually being really quiet right now, in the sense that when macaws scream, they scream. I mean, I can hear them a couple houses away. So they really have loud voices. Another thing is that because they're like children, they have needs, and because they're so intelligent, they really have needs. For example, for fresh foods. Now, the wonderful thing about parrots in these modern times, is that we know that a seed or seed mix diet is not good for them, because that's what they used to feed parrots, and there used to be a lot of sick parrots, as I understand it, in like the 70s and 80s. And then when they started making pellets for parrots, parrots got a lot healthier. So pellets are like a complete food. It offers your pet parrot everything from like A to Z that they're going to need. And I'm going to tell you that I've researched like the vitamins and minerals that parrots need. And it starts at vitamin A, which is really important for their eyes, and it goes all the way maybe to zinc. But they, the range of vitamins and minerals that they need, and then the oils that they need, depending on the species, which is really important because macaws really need some nut oils in their diet, but a lot of other parrots don't. And so the seeds are going to give them oils that they don't need, and it's going to make them, kind of fat, that kind of thing. So you really have to get to know your species diet requirements, and you have to understand that most of what you're going to give them, about 70%, is going to be pellets, which is fantastic for you because you could buy the pellets, you store them in a cool, dry place, at least that's how I do it. And then, you have them on hand. But in addition to needing a fresh bowl of water once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, depending on how many times your parrot poops in its water, because they do that, and not on purpose, they just poop where they are. Another thing to keep in mind about them, you have to keep in mind that they do require fresh foods. So every morning my parrots get a mix of some fresh vegetables, say like squash and maybe some spinach, some carrots. There's a lot more in there. I get broccoli slaw so that I can throw that into my salad and theirs. I get different things that go into their fresh vegetables, and they do need some fresh vegetables every day if they're not accustomed to it. It takes time, and you have to get them accustomed because it's really important. It's good for them to have those micronutrients which they can't get from any other place. So you've got the fact that they're screamers, you've got the fact that they need fresh vegetables, you've got the fact that they poop wherever they are, and then you also have the fact that they're intelligent. So some of my parrots get out of their cages, and some do things like my Cammy is doing right here. Now Cammy is a harlequin macaw, which is a cross between a green-winged macaw and a blue and gold macaw. She is fabulous. She's only 6 months old, and she does things like, she's bending my 40-year-old necklace. Like children, they explore their world. They break things, they bite things, they chew things, they destroy things, because that's what they do in nature. I believe that parrots are nature's breaker downers and spreaders. And what I mean by that is they like to have wood. So you have to constantly either get them toys or get them enrichment. Enrichment's going to be branches from a non-toxic tree that you cut or that you have and that you offer to them in their cage, which they like to bite the bark, they eat the bark, they chew wood, they destroy wood. At the end, I'll try to remember to show you some wood that I've got just sitting on a chair because they like to just bite wood. So they're like nature's trimmers. I've bought plants, non-toxic plants for my parrots before. I've put them by their cages. Sometimes the plant lives beautifully there. It looks beautiful. It looks like they're in the jungle. And then the next time I come back, that plant has been chopped off. Like wherever they can reach, it's either chopped flat, like almost to the stems kind of thing, or if it's in their cage, it's chopped to their cage. And that's just what they do. So right now she's biting my shirt and she's starting to just pet herself, scratch herself. So they have a lot of needs. They have a lot of things where you have to care for them. You have to understand that they're not being loud to piss you off. They're not biting your antique chair to make you angry. They're just being parrots. All of their behavior is just parrots. Even the incessant screaming, which they sometimes do. So these are some things to really consider because there are some definite challenges to having a parrot. On the other hand, there are some incredible rewards. Yesterday at lunch, my Amazon macaw decided to pick up the spoon, hold the spoon with his foot, because citizens or parrots are the only birds that can hold things with their feet, and feed himself. Why not? We do it, and it made it easier for him to eat some quinoa out of my salad bowl. Cammy came over, she flew over to me, and obviously just wants to be loved and pet. It's like, I'm sleepy, I'm young, so I want to be cuddled, then maybe I'll take a nap. So just pay attention to me. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're working. I want love. So these guys are very affectionate. They're the only animals that are going to talk to you and say hi. say all sorts of things. And they're the only animals that are going to eat with silverware with you. That's not a common occurrence. But my point is, because they're so intelligent, they're very personable. They are really like people in a lot of ways. And so having a parrot is very much like having a young child who isn't ever going to grow up. They're not going to get past the age of about 5 as far as being curious, loud, playful, and wanting to sit on your lap. I would pan down, but she's got both of my hands tied up. So I hope that gives you a good idea of what it's like to have a parrot. They require a lot of cleaning, a lot of care, and in return, they give you a lot of love, a lot of personality, and they are a lot of fun. Look at that. They're like little babies, right? Right, baby? This one's not old enough to talk yet, although I think she's starting. If you do get a parrot, it's going to be one of the most exhausting as far as pets go, I think, that I know of. Exhausting because of the cleaning and changing their cage and cleaning their cage and, cleaning the poop. And one of the most incredibly rewarding because, how many other pets are going to fly up to your shoulder and talk to you and share a meal with you and want to be coddled and loved and tell you that they love you. So if you do get a parrot, make sure to subscribe to Parrot Bliss, because I love questions about how to have an incredible bond with your parrot. So that's what it's all about. I want your parrot to be so happy and love you, and I want you to be so happy and adore your parrot so that you're more motivated to clean up all that poop and take great care of them. That way they'll take great care of you. Thanks for joining me.